Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8 and Third Reich events. Let's continue. Okay. Bunch of stuff just appeared. Okay, Captain of Industry. We got the car factory added there, so we are going to get more money, which will help this. And IC efficiency is going to be much more efficient. That's going to be great. We're down to medium popularity, unfortunately. And radios have advanced. That's very much needed. Not necessarily needed at this exact moment, but we're going to be researching radios and airplanes so that they can readily communicate. It's really helpful, like we were talking about radios and tanks, be able to call for help, be able to warn your fellow pilots of danger and all that kind of stuff. Expand the air bases, 1% of ICs, 1% supplies, 1% money until September 1939, so October, September, yeah. I think we will do this. So yeah, we get a strategic resource of an airbase. Yes, we will build a few more of these. You just got to remember it's a warning to put these up top. Now, getting Czechoslovakia, this one I'm fully in agreement. It goes to 5 or 6, I forget, but at least 5 descent, because you've just added organizing in the Sudeten Germans. I'm sure, you know, part of the consumer goods is you know, building, you know, roads and phone systems and whatever else, you know, getting them organized into the Reich. That would go fairly smoothly because it's popular with the populace. And so you're wanting to do that, and that's, I think, reasonable to presume. But the thing that really would disrupt is moving in all the Czechs into the Reich, because here they are, and there was still the Bohemian, and we'll see some events coming up, Bohemian and Moravian Protectorate. They weren't just all given German passports, but they were effectively German citizens for national citizenship, and this reinforces some of the other stuff. I was watching yesterday, I believe it was, from when I'm recording this, though I'm recording this a few days, I'm probably about a week or so ahead from what you're going to be seeing this. An interview with a Schindler, who was talking very much about modern politics, but she is the descendant from Oskar Schindler's, you know, Schindler's List, Oskar Schindler, a descendant of his brother, and she had Schindler's brother, or, you know, also a Schindler. I don't remember his first name if they even mentioned it, but Oskar Schindler's brother, basic identity papers. One was sort of a work pass that you know, that authorized you to work in Germany. And I made a few, talked about the membership in the Sudeten Deutsch Party, but I've been planning to, and I've collected some images to talk about the various passports, if you will, and they were sort of internal passports, and maybe that's what I should call them, passports or passes. You know, one of them was the right to work in Germany and several other things, but one of them was an ancestry passport, if you will, in which you filled out back several generations your family, and it was sort of to show that you were Aryan enough and you know, in essence, have rights as a full German citizen. So this is a way to separate out a Bohemian who might not be the right type of German. Again, I've been using those terms because now he's, you know, a citizen of the Reich, not a citizen of Czechoslovakia, not a citizen of Poland. He's a citizen of the Reich, and but he's a Bohemian, so he's doesn't have one of these approved or, you know, fully approved Aryan internal passports, so that he doesn't have necessarily all the rights of other Germans. So it really shows who and how they were working this, and the importance of some of these documents in the sense of, you know, within Germany, if you're going to have a job, and since, you know, feed yourself, support your families, yeah, there were certain rationings and some support for those who didn't have much, but basically you need to be able to have a job to support everything. So this is having a lot of dissent means that you've got to integrate all your working team. Go through take the trouble to give all the Czech citizens all their passports for work passports, you know, where you're allowed to work, what industry you're allowed to work in, and all these kind of management tools that they had, including various ethnic ones based on that. And so to lower that down, I've flooded it with over 200, as you see, consumer goods, because I want to get this down and fast. So we're just running that down now. So it puts a hold on a lot of our other production. And because we've gained leadership in these various places, we need to button. We will do radar for frigates and destroyers. And well, and then we will go down just a little bit to beef this up to be on a little bit more of the increasing side of the officers. I don't want to be caught out like last game and be running around with 80% officers. We want to keep that at 100%. Rare materials, all right. No, I don't think so. We're close, but we're not down that low. Okay, medium fuel tank research has completed to the next level. Well, we're researching something we can't. Another thing, kind of technology boost by an event. So let's see. We're gonna do some of my favorites down here with naval air. One of those, well, that'll keep it red. And gun ability, twin engine. Planes has advanced, which we're gonna just shift it for shifting fun sake. This gun position. On that, we'll get that there. We'll do air-launched torpedoes, which will help our naval attack. France is mobilizing. That's fine. Run the cost. We're not going to war yet. Money for crude oil. Poland is mobilizing. Only it's small, and only because I want to improve my relations with Spain. And this is large, I do want to improve my relations with Iraq, which are currently a member of the Allies, but there are some events to be happening that should be changing that. Let's see if we can just buy one oil. Spend a little money, improve our relations. No smoking. Well, my experience in Europe, and it's been a few years now. Some of you probably weren't alive yet when I was last in Europe. Everybody smoked. At least that appeared to me, being a Californian, where it's a small minority smoking. But this is a Nazi health program put out there. Oh shoot! I shouldn't have grabbed this like I did. What is? No, not the Orden rune. I forget. Sort of the life rune from some of the organizations there. And this is a period. No smoking stuff. They National Socialists banned smoking in many public places, including offices and public waiting rooms. So this is not banning of smoking per se, but it's sort of like what we have in California to some degree. That ban smoking in some areas to, improve the health of Germany. It's managed. See, I'm personally, I like the idea of no smoking areas, but they're going a bit overboard in my opinion here in California and a few other places. I'm more of a freedom person, even if it's freedom to, rot your lungs out. Now, I also am leery, especially in large countries, to having national health systems that are government paid for, because they're too big to manage. I could see myself way clear to having a national health system for a country like Denmark, but for the U.S., I want at least 50 health systems for each state. And whether some states are fully, government supported, socialized, and others are entirely free market or whatever, that's up to each state. It's sort of a scale thing. Obviously in Denmark, in Luxembourg, just have a few government-owned hospitals. But somebody like Germany is starting to get pretty big. Once you start getting pretty big and the government starts paying for your health bills, and if they have cures for, cancer and whatever, they get to start telling you what to do, like no smoking. I don't smoke. I'm not pro it, but it's sort of a freedom choice thing. So we gained some dissent because the Germans, of course, the smokers, which I believe many were, wouldn't be happy not being allowed to smoke. So one of those little things. Okay, well, we got a little trade with Iraq. Oh, one thing we're doing that we don't need to do anymore. These guys should go home. Since the war's over. And like I said before, Germany did have ships out patrolling. Haven't made the event yet, but there was at least one attack by Republican or Soviet flown or whatever air attack on a German warship that killed some of the men on board. Didn't sink the ship, but the Germans. Now see, that was something that happened during the war, and Germany played it up big, but they were at least supposedly, and I don't know if they were escorting, or I've never gotten a clear answer whether the German operations or the Italian naval operations in the area were actively helping the nationalists, or whether they were simply observing. But the French, the British, very much were also observing and sort of protecting a few ports a little bit. But I don't know if the Germans ever actively engaged in operations on the nationalist side, but they did definitely move in there and spend a lot of time monitoring the situation. Yeah, we'll give you fuel for some money. Okay, now we're moving up. Good on money. We're getting wandering all over the place here. Okay, rolling artillery barrages. Artillery flexibility, that sounds like a good tech to research. We've made the prerequisites. Okay, submarine anti-aircraft armament. As you remember, my sort of not terribly positive thoughts on that technology in a real-world practical sense. Cluster bombs, yeah, sure. Okay, let's place some of these units on the map here. Okay, submarines here. They like giving up the submarine. But it's best you want to get a Seawolf trait here. I don't use these non-historical fantasy people because what Revolver Held's work has been added to standard BI. No, it was Revolver Held or D-Worms? Oh boy, I'm forgetting. I think it was the D-Worms. I think, oh boy, I'm forgetting. Sorry guys, whichever one of you, you're going, it's my mod. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Work was just, extra German generals were added to it. And mostly, if not entirely, there's enough German generals that are historical. TRE add some just general ones that I found that weren't in the regular list, and other ones that are specialties for specialty units that we've added. Okay, I'm placing down here these Jaeger divisions, and you can see a little bit. I will be doing some reorganization, and at that time this trait still, and there's a lot of bonuses there, isn't there? Reduces out of supply and reduces supply consumption, so we like that for the Jaegers. Use less supply and left terrain. What was it? Jaeger units. Oh, I'm going to do a reorganization episode coming at some point in the nearish future, and it'll have that label on the tin, as it were, so you can know to either skip it or skip through it, or whatever your choice is, because you may not find it terribly interesting to 30-40 minutes of me just reorganizing things. Yeah, older modal won't be in charge of a Jaeger division stuck on the Yugoslav border. I want a level 2. I want to save the better generals for other service, more critical operations. these guys, if they see enough combat, they can get promoted most assuredly, but until then, we're going with... To me, I take the sort of average general use is a level 3 for Germany. Anything below that I look at as a below average skill point general. There we go. So we got that, and then let's put this here. Yeah, he's a good one. He has mountain Jaeger. So sometimes the AI gets it right with an auto. So that's great. So just a sort of a minimum mountain division, but still pretty decent nowadays. Well done that, but it's very focused for the benefits in the mountains, and it's, I think, useful. All right, now we're going to take a couple of these and stick them here to support the torpedo boats. The motor torpedo boats will support the larger torpedo boats. And we will stick just another duration of 2. We'll add reinforcements, maybe some torpedo boats in the future. There we go. KG1 still up there. Okay, so what we will do with that instead, where's number 2? Oh, well, they're just sort of mixed up, I guess. You got E somewhere else, but alright. We'll reinforce these later with more units of the correct type. I either want to use a general with the proper traits, you know, it's a superior air tactician, you know, like a bomber type, or one without any specific traits, because you might as well put the, well, we're not attaching these to HQs yet, without any traits. Use the ones with traits to focus. I'm putting these in. I was putting these in until we used them. Well, it's close escorts, as I talked about before. Okay, Hipper. Moving to the Kriegsmarine Flotilla. So we're improving our Navy. Battleship crew training has advanced. That is very good. So carrier crew we haven't done yet. Cruiser crew. We'll do that now. And airborne unit command and control has advanced as well. We'll let that go as well. There. Continue developing it. tank destroyers have advanced. That's good. We'll improve our armored car designs. Okay, aircraft carrier armor has advanced, which will allow me to expand the hangar. Technology. Well, I think we're going to do this instead. And Dr. Lutz Heck. Interesting guy. He was in charge of the Berlin zoos. He was very associated as well with Southwest Africa, continuing after the war down there. Did research as well as collecting animals for the Berlin Zoo down there. This is an event from Tanganyika. He was also, well, as we know, Nazi understanding of genetics is really based on what I like to think of as late 19th century understanding of breeding of animals, which is a a functional breed. They came up with many dog variants and improved the various cattle basis is on by breeding particular animals together, and that's how they base their genetics as opposed to modern genetic research. So they believe that, like the Nazis were trying to do with humans, they could do that with animals. They believe that particularly the aurochs, don't know how much of you guys know about the animal. It was a very big cow or bull. Bull would be male, cow would be female, but a bovine, I guess, if you want to say, or however you want to call it that. You see the bull jumpers, as they're called, on the what they now actually think in Crete, the they're called, I guess, the Mycenaean, the Mycenaean, sorry, messing that word up, ruins that were found down here, where they thought there was sort of labyrinth, and there was a lot of bull imagery, and so they originally thought it was a palace. Current thought, I think I've heard, they think it was some sort of temple instead of a palace. But either way, you see the people, the people doing the bull leaping that were jumping, and doing flips over the backs of the bulls, and the people look sort of small compared to the bulls, and a lot of people have, I think, thought that was just sort of artistic license. No, the aurochs, which was this now extinct species, was a much larger animal than what is live. And when Mycenaean, there you go, now I'm saying it right, the Mycenaeans, when they were still doing their thing, it was still a species that was around. I don't know how many were down here. I think they were importing them from other parts of the world. And there was also an attempt to bring back the early horse. Forget the specific name of it. Heck wanted to revise the species that were lost, those two particularly, as well as others, and it fit well in with the Nazi viewpoint, and so they supported him. And basically, there's modern day Heck cattle. They've they thought that if they try to breed in the traits that they recognize as being an aurochs, they would eventually get an aurochs. Well, no, you just get a modern version of an animal that's bigger, that looks sort of more kind of like the aurochs, but it doesn't get any. If you look at genetic studies, and you can look at partial genetic samples of fossils that not necessarily the mosquito trapped in amber that preserves the dinosaurs' DNA, but enough to know that they weren't achieving their goal, but they thought they were. And so there's the Heck cattle that he bred up, and he's involved with that. But he was a Nazi. He supported the ideas. I don't know that he was a particular anti-Semite, but he believed in the general racial theories of superiority of certain types. But he was very involved in Africa, and so we can send him down there to collect some animal species in Southwest Africa and improve our relations down there. Or we're not, but we're doing well enough now with both money and supplies, so we'll send him and improve our relations down there. When I do more work, and I'm not currently really doing, well, periodically I create another event now and again, but when I do more work with Tanganyika, it will expand further and require some of these events that I'm doing to have other later events fire that would gain cores in like Southwest Africa, and similarly if Germany were to conquer it. We give them money for fuel. No, thank you. Okay, send the SMS. I think they no longer were using that title by this period. /week Holstein off to the West Indies. So I think that's a World War I era photo of the ship. Notice the Kaiser's battle flag and such. On the postcard that I used, I did not create the details of that image. We have the opportunity to send off the ship on a training and goodwill mission to the West Indies. Cost us some supplies and money. Get a bit of training, battleship crew training, though we've already achieved one level, but it will help us to the next, and improve our relations with the nations that it stopped at. There is currently no mechanic unless they are a faction ally or a puppet or whatever, that I can't, and you can't send the ship off to do actually visit the port. So if it's outside the battleships or the heavy cruisers or whatever, and that they were able to operate from theoretically a German base to observe here, but you can't. Currently I couldn't, and I'd like to, and if Japan becomes a member of the Axis, I'll send a few things over here to observe, but there isn't the mechanic to do that. So no, the ship doesn't actually go anywhere, but we will do it. You can decide to save your money if you wish, but we'll do this. So TRE is designed that, those are just mostly like, improve relations by 2%. And, I figured if you show up and go, hey, I go to war with my nearby neighbor and I'm friends with Germany, they might be willing to send the battleship to control things if America is staying out of it, conflict down there, though America very well may enter into it. And so nations would generally get closer to, potentially get a little closer to Germany. And if you were, if you were pursuing this strategy of trade or strategies of diplomacy with those nations, it would be a minor bonus to improve relations over there. Okay, let's see. We've stolen supplies. Destroyer armament to level 5. Well, great. That is great. I like that. That's all the way up to there. The one thing I don't like is sometimes I get something like this, like a major jump in destroyer armor, and it slows down the destroyers, like if it goes to like level 7 or level 8 here, and these are just not very good. So there's because the engines are supposed to compensate for the, you improve the armor, you go back and forth, compensate for it. But if you don't do it, but the engines in the armament don't really have a downside. It's just, well, fuel consumption if you're operating. But other than that, they don't have a downside, so they're good to get. It's just the armor I sometimes go, ouch, if I steal it, because then I'm out of balance in a bad way and not just overperforming in one way or another. Well, we're about ready to get another. I don't want to forget to, so about ready to get our first, I guess, heavy bomber, which will reduce our practicals there. I mean, increase our practicals, reduce our production cost. No, not 4, just 1. Fortunately, it's only the heavy bomber and the heavy transport are of this category, so I will have a use for some heavy bombers in the battle sense, but I'm also using it very much because I like the heavy transports and want to use them a lot. Okay, mobile unit training has advanced. That is great. That's good. And now we've zeroed out here, so we're back to our needs. And it's put us rather far into the green here. Did a bunch of other stuff show up now? Okay, so just looking at seeing our balance here. Okay, I think we want to do push the air a bit more. Got the submarines coming. Those. Let's build 2 more of the semi-mobile divisions. Get them in the queue. And then I want to push these guys down. There we go. And what I'm going to also do is lower this some. We still want to be increasing, but we're now in a good comfort zone. I want to increase our armed forces more. Let's clear this out. I know I can load them into the template here, but I'm just a bit more dynamic and wanting to fiddle with it more each time. And a divisional HQ. There we go. Our armor unit our armor training has advanced as well. And we're going to switch that over to mobile unit. Combined arms. Let's see how Japan is doing here. Oh, they've had a Chinese revolt breakout, and they've got a couple of Oop, what was that? That's okay. Details. Okay, good. Landing craft flotillas have advanced. So let's go look at technology there for transports. Alright, twin engines, what does this do? Range and speed, which is nice. Range, which is critical. Machine gun positions, which are nice. Armor plating. Nice, but we're going to do range because we're looking at some long-range invasions, and this would landing craft is landing or assault ship. Obviously, it'll have a longer range, but at least we want to improve what we can there, so we're going to do that. So we're going to switch over to that. That would increase range too, but you just spreading stuff out a little bit. So China, that's Chinese territory, and that's theoretically Japanese via the engine that they've taken back. That's causing, I'm sure, a bit of a distraction. Alright. Seems like most of the rest of the world's fairly at peace. No major outbreaks of revolt in the Soviet Union. The rest of the world is basically at peace. There's still this area that I think is all too low of infrastructure to go there. Alright, well thanks so much for viewing. I hope it's still fun for you. I'm having fun playing. I've been sort of playing a bit ahead of what's being posted just because I want to get to some of the action myself and I want to play. So I guess I could start another campaign and just play it for myself, but this is fun talking to you guys. So thanks so much. We'll see you next time.